How's it going, guys? About to start off this question and answers for you. Got a couple questions in today, but first, coffee. Super good. Alright, so the first question we have is, what are successful habits to fall on continuously to stay driven? So basically, what are some successful habits that you can create in order to stay driven, stay consistent with what you're doing, stay focused, all that stuff? So what a lot of successful people do is they always have a morning routine or a morning ritual, whatever you want to call it. A lot of successful people have something to do every single morning to get their day going, a list of things that they do every day. For instance, me, every time that I get up in the morning, when I get in the shower, I blast some music. Like, I get the Bose speaker, turn on some good tunes, something to make me uplifted and happy, and then I get the day rolling with some good music. Some other things people do is they do coffee and breakfast, they read, they start off their day with the hardest thing that they have on their list. They might start their day off with a to-do list, write things out they want to get accomplished, a bunch of things. I think the best thing to do, best habits to create in order to be successful is just anything that's just going to help you as like mentally within the morning. So any kind of mental kind of prep you can do, maybe meditate, some yoga, maybe a good workout in the morning, some good music, maybe read a book, anything that's gonna just help prime your mind to be able to be in a good mood. Because if you start your morning off in a good mood and a good frame of mindset, your day should be good. Some other successful habits you can create is just every night before you go to bed, create a to-do list. So right before you go to bed, sit down for 10-15 minutes and think about things that you want to accomplish for the next day. Write them down, figure out what's the most important thing. I think being successful is all about time management and prioritizing. If you can manage your time wisely and prioritize what's important in your life and the events and ideas that you have, and just figure out what needs to come first. If you do that the night before, wake up in the morning, you know exactly what you need to do first, you know how to get your day rolling, and that's the best thing. A lot of people, if you start out your day slow, you wake up, you lay in bed, maybe you get a coffee, kind of lay around, just do nothing that's gonna affect your day. You wanna, as soon as you wake up, you wanna get your day rolling as soon as you can. So whatever routine you create for yourself, you wanna start it immediately when you wake up and create a habit. Once you create that habit, your days will get better. All right, next question. How do you handle stress? So all of us get stressed at some point in the day. There's plenty of ways you can handle stress. I think a couple ones that I do is, number one, workout. The reason I got into working out in the first place is because I had some pent-up anger and emotions that I was dealing with. I was going through a tough breakup, and that was about a couple years ago. And me going to the gym helped me release negative energy and all that stuff like that. So I think working out's a really good way to release stress and reduce stress. Just because you're exerting energy, you can put your negative energy into a workout and get something positive out of it. Not only better body and stuff like that, but you're just mentally clear. Other things that you can do for stress is just straight up breathe. Remember to breathe. I think a lot of people, when they get angry, they get all their mind starts going everywhere and they're not thinking about what they're doing or what they're saying. I think the best thing to do is just breathe. Take a couple of deep breaths in and relax. I think that's one of the most important things to do. Another thing you do when you're stressed out is, I think just stress is a psychological thing. Stress isn't necessarily a physical thing. I mean, you could have physical stress, but more times than not, when we're stressed out, it's a mental thing. And I think it comes down to having a good mindset. Just focusing on what's really important. Is this a big problem that I'm dealing with? Is it a little problem? Am I making it into a big problem? And just kind of taking things for face value and figuring out all right, is this a really big situation? Am I blowing it up a little bit? Am I hyperbolizing it or what? I think just taking things for face value and figuring out, all right, what's going on. I think that's the best way to deal with stress. Another thing to remember is that when you're dealing with something, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend any more than 5 minutes worrying about it or stressing on it. A lot of times we get in a situation where we're freaked out or we're stressed or we're uncomfortable. We start to think about it and we start getting really worked up. But more times than not, it's not going to matter within a few years. So I think the best thing to do is just not worry about it. Take the time, get all of your negative emotions out and just step back and be all right, what do I need to do to fix this? And it's all a psychological thing. Most things in life are psychological. If you can change your mindset and change the way you approach things and look at things, you're gonna be better off. So that's the most important thing. Next question, what's been your biggest struggle working towards your fitness goal, and what have you done to overcome it? So what has my biggest struggle been reaching towards my fitness goals? Honestly, I think my personal one would be like gaining weight. I'm naturally like pretty lean. I've never been really big. Like some people like are naturally just bigger, tall, muscular build. Like I've always been like somewhat lean, somewhat kind of average. So I think the biggest thing was just gaining weight. The way I overcame that was just really just focusing on my diet, eating a lot more, making sure I'm in caloric surplus, eating a lot of protein, a lot of carbohydrates, protein shakes, creatine also helps, just all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, gaining weight has definitely been the toughest thing for me. I think for a lot of other people, it's more losing weight, not so much gaining weight. I think the mass majority of people who are, striving for the fitness goals, it's losing weight is the toughest thing. And I think the best thing to do there is really just stick to your diet and like stick to it, like work hard every day, like it's an everyday thing, like you have to treat it like a lifestyle, like it's a job, I think just taking off on the weekends doesn't do anything. Off days or cheat meal days, I don't think those are good. I think just staying consistent with what you're doing is really important. All right, next question. How would you address the fear of change? So a lot of people are afraid of change. Change is good. One of my favorite quotes is, to be good is to change. To be perfect is to change often. And that's just the honest truth. In life, we're always faced with obstacles. We all have goals, we all have dreams, and we face a lot of adversities. And I think in order to accomplish whatever you have in mind, or get to that thing that you want to be, or whatever it may be, I think embracing change is very important. It comes down to we're humans. We're naturally able to adapt to things. If we weren't, we would just be like just a plant just sitting on the grass, just doing nothing. I think change is extremely important. And when you embrace change, that's when you're gonna figure out who you really are, your deep moral values, and figure out like how you're gonna get stuff done. So how would you address the fear of change? I think many times in life, whatever you're afraid to do, whatever is like holding you back from achieving goals, gives you all the more reason to achieve that or to go for that goal. Many times the path that has the most adversity is the one you should probably take, because at the end of it, it's going to make you a better person. It's not so much the destination that matters, but more the journey of going through the hardships, the journey of struggling, the journey of waking up every morning and not getting a lot of sleep because you have to do what you need to do. Just all that stuff is the journey. So I think embracing change is just super important. Having fear of change is not practical, because at all times in life we need to change something in order to get where we want to go, or anything like that. Just think about it, when you're constantly growing up, you're constantly going through changes. A baby when learning to walk, doesn't think like when they fall down, oh, maybe this isn't for me. They get up and they do it again and they do it again, and eventually they change their habits to get to where they want to be. So I think having fear of change is just not practical. I think you have to embrace change and embrace that fear, and oftentimes not, at the end of it, you're going to be very thankful for embracing that. All right, so the fun question of the day, what is your favorite type of cat? What is your favorite cat activity? Well, I have 2 cats. Not sure what kind of type of cats they are. I don't know cat breeds that well. I know dog breeds. But my favorite cat activity would be scratching on the post. Totally joking. I don't have a favorite cat activity, mostly due to the fact that I'm not a cat. If I was a cat, I feel like my favorite cat activity would be sleeping. Let's face it, sleeping all day is pretty nice, but unfortunately we are humans and we cannot do that. But if I was a cat, that would be my favorite cat activity. So that concludes it for today's But First Coffee. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit like at the bottom, leave questions in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.